My name is Daniel Good. Born in Whitley Bay. I am 28 years old. As far back as I can remember, I always wanted to play ice hockey. I loved everything about it. Going to games, the atmosphere, the people, the speed, the aggression. I just loved it. There was always one team I wanted to play for, and that was the Whitley Warriors. Well, when we were a kid, my dad used to take me to the games and used to take me skating. And then I think I'd asked him for a stick, and then the next thing I knew, he had one along at a training session in Whitley Bay. Far too young, could barely skate, but like all the wrong gear on. Had motorbike armour instead of ice hockey armour, must have looked ridiculous. And then just took it from there. They said it was to come back in a couple of years when we were a bit older, but he ended up taking it to Durham. My routine for playing, run home from school. We used to live just down the road. We'd all jump in the back of my dad's van. It was a real old banger, Bedford Midi. Play up in Durham at the time. They used to drive up there and we'd get ready in the back of the van. I think we'd just make it like 5 minutes before we got on the ice and just jump on, and that was it. My nickname is DJ. I'm about 4 years old. My dad put my initials on the back of my hockey helmet when I first started playing, and it just stuck ever since. My first goal was against Durham. It was set up by my brother, who I still play on the same line as today. So yeah, I can remember it exactly. One of the earliest memories was on a motorbike. It was a Pee-wee 50. Tiny little Honda thing, and I must have been like 3 or 4 years old, and we used to go to it's like a BMX track just down the road, a couple of miles from here. My dad used to take me and my brother down there, and we'd just mess about on the bike. First thing I can remember is falling off the thing, because it's just strange when you're a kid. You don't know what the hell's going on, but he made us get straight back on it, and I'm grateful he did, because I love it now. Just after like the mods and rockers era, and people couldn't afford cars when they were younger, as a 16-year-old they could just jump on a bike and ride, and I think that's how he got into it. And he kind of kept it up from there, and I think it's just something, part of his life. Ended up working for Honda for like 20 years, so with my dad being into it, I kind of grew up around all that.
Now a round of applause please for the Daredevil rider, 8-year-old DG Good.
I played for Whitley Bay since I was around 6 years old. The most I've scored in a game would be, I scored like 9 goals in one game as a junior. The position I play is centre, as a forward, and help the D-men out, but also help the forwards out, so you've got to play a bit of offence and defence. We train twice a week, Tuesdays, Thursdays, and we'll have games every weekend. Anywhere between 3 and 4 times a week we're on the ice. I suppose what I give to the team is dedication, really. Since I was made captain, I've never missed a game. I suppose I do have little set routines, like I like to have a whiskey the night before a game, have all brand the morning of a game. I like to have a sleep about an hour before the game. Always have caffeine. For some reason I always tie me right skate before we left. That's about it. It feels good going on the ice, especially in a game. It's good atmosphere at Whitley Bay, with it being an old rink and everything echoes around and everything like that, so yeah, it's a really good feeling. When the puck is dropped, that's the start of the game, that's when it all begins. When you miss a shot, you know you should have scored, it's frustrating. And you think about it for the rest of the game. Best thing about the home games is well, it's the crowd, really, especially at Whitley Bay. There's a lot of dedicated fans that are there every week and that have been there for 20 years. There'll be people there that used to watch when I was a kid, and it creates an atmosphere, really good atmosphere. there's not much that's better about away games. I suppose going to a rink that's actually a bit warmer with decent change rooms and a proper ice pad is a little bit better. The bus trips are good fun. I suppose that's a good thing at Whitley Bay. Everyone has fun, has a good laugh. It's kind of tamed down a little bit now. At points like the bus companies wouldn't even want to take away, you know. But yeah, it was class. It was mad. Having to train on a Tuesday night, I would say, is the worst. It's not like a football pitch where there's hundreds you can just go and train. So there's one rink basically in the northeast. Skating sessions, figure skating, ice hockey. It means you've got to train at stupid times and play games late at night. And with it not being the most popular sport, it's not like in Canada where they've got the rinks everywhere. You're playing we'll play away games up in Scotland and 4 hours on a bus and coming home. Probably this Sunday we'll probably get home 1, 2 in the morning. I suppose that's no fun, and then you got to get up and go to work first thing on Monday. It's like I've got a bit of a low attention span. I've always enjoyed hockey way more than any other sport. And playing football for the school team, I didn't get any kind of, never would get psyched up for a game or get any kind of adrenaline rush from it. It was alright, I enjoyed it. I always think of it's like football but faster. A lot more happens. Just a bit more intense. It's a bit more physical. Stuff like that, like one-on-one in football, you seem to wait all day for something to happen, but in hockey it's constant and a goal can come out of nowhere. With hockey, it's different. Like football, where there's thousands of kids, you'll have trials, and then the club will send 2 or 3 players, and then they whittle it down from there. And I think under 16s had what was England School of Excellence. So you have a team from the north, southeast, southwest, Midlands, and Scotland. They play a tournament, and they would pick 20, 30 players from that tournament, and you would then go to a training camp, and then they would pick a squad from that. So it's good. That's why it's a good sport, because you do get opportunities like that. Like football with scouting and stuff, you could easily get overlooked. This was one of the best moments, was maybe playing for England or going abroad and playing in Quebec. And we got to stay with a French-Canadian family, which was just obviously a once-in-a-lifetime experience. You don't get to do stuff like that out in Canada, and big house out there, and they loved hockey, and getting to play in a Quebec Nordique stadium in front of thousands of people. But yeah, you get to go everywhere really. You go on trips away, tournaments, everything, all over Europe. But yeah, some of the best games, even just as juniors, just playing for Whitley, and might have been in a tournament or something, but with a good atmosphere. And it's as good as any other moments really. Playing hockey now, it's different to when you're a kid. I think you do enjoy it a little bit more as a kid. You have a lot more emotions about it. I suppose that always stays with you, and what you enjoy now is similar to what you enjoyed as a kid. I think the most surprising thing with hockey is the friendships you create over the years. You grow up with these people, kind of like people grow up with people at school. You kind of stay in touch. And that's what it's like with hockey, is you meet people and you're friends for life with them. I suppose I never realised that was going to happen. If you think who I've called in to do this place, you need a plasterer. It's a couple of hockey players came and did. I need the lighting done, it's a hockey player. The joinery work was a hockey player. Everything, it just shows that a lot of the people that I know and hang around with and friends with are through the hockey. If I had to say I had a childhood hero, I think at the time I would have said probably one of the hockey players, Mario Lemieux, maybe David Longstaff, who's from Whitley Bay. But when I look back now, it's probably the person I admired most at the time was probably my dad. I wouldn't be playing now if it wasn't for my parents. I think the commitment they give, which a lot of parents do with hockey, it was good. A lot of travelling. Obviously taking me to Durham once or twice a week. We used to have England trials down in Hull on a Friday night, And my dad would have to he'd have to drive her down there, like, on a Friday night, you know, people have better things to do than driving to Hull and back for a hockey session, so I think they put a lot more dedication than we did as players. I don't know, I've had loads of good moments. Obviously when travelling you get to experience quite a lot. Loads with the hockey over the years. I think I've just been lucky really. There's not one in particular. Meeting my girlfriend, stuff like that, moving in here constantly, just good things happen. When we went to Canada with England under 14s, that's the only time, well, the first time that I ever went anywhere that I thought, oh, I'd like to live here. I just thought it was great, I loved it, the whole way of life. An interest in hockey. Instead of having a five-a-side football pitch down the road, they've got a little ice rink. And each town's got the same thing and you can just go along and play on it whenever you want. Thought it was a great place, great people. I never actually thought about moving out there. No, some players used to go out there for like 6 months a season, but it was always like big money to go out there, and I just never thought about leaving home to do it. Hockey's totally different in the UK to Canada and America. They earn massive money out there, like footballers do here. That's the difference. And here it's a minority sport, and it's just more. It's a hobby for us, whereas out there it's a career for people. There's a lot of annoying things about hockey in the UK. I think maybe the lack of money and opportunities for a lot of people. There's not enough ice rinks, there's no government backing. The sport's not big enough, and it should be. You're lucky if you get paid something. There is people that make a career out of playing in the professional leagues, but they're not exactly rich. It's not. No, there's not much money in it at all. I'm fine with the fact that other countries, you can make a good living out of it. It doesn't bother me. It's it's good for them. Yeah. Never thought about it as being a career. It's just a hobby. And I like it that way. I think I enjoy it because I'm doing it out of choice. It's not for a paycheck, and I'm quite happy with that. I earn a living just like every other person, really, just working a normal job. Monday to Friday, kind of 9 to 5. I've not got any regrets with ice hockey, it's worked out all right. It might be nice to have a season or two in a higher league just to see what it was like, but I have had opportunities. I think a few games in Edinburgh, getting to play in the elite league, and the same in Newcastle, so I did get to experience it a little bit. So, but I've not got any regrets with it. I think when I look back over the last 10 years or whatever, I'm quite happy being able to travel and live my life and play hockey as well. So it's been fine. I don't know how many years I'll play for. I would just take one season at a time. I never really thought I'd play past 30. But I'm getting on a bit now, I'm starting to approach that, so I don't know what'll happen. But yeah, I definitely want to play next season.
Okay, let's go, Goody.